Hello everyone, good day to all from Sauté Fry and Bake. Today I'm going to show you all a very simple recipe that all of you make at home. It's just the normal cutlets that you make at home, but I'm just going to show you different variations you could do with the same humble cutlets that we all make at home and impress our loved ones and the guests who drop in. So I'm just pouring a little bit of oil to a heated pan. And I'm just going to saute some onions first. And this takes around 5 minutes until it gets translucent. So the onions have become pink, which means it's translucent, which is the stage before getting browned. And I'm just going to add some green chilies. It's up to your taste. If you like your cutlets to be really hot, you could add more or less. If you find less spicier is always good, then add less chilies. And I'm adding a little bit of ginger and garlic paste. Make sure that you always brown your ginger and garlic really well, or else you get, if you have raw ginger and garlic in anything that you make, you tend to get a bitter taste, which is really not good for any dish. So always when you use ginger and garlic paste, make sure you actually saute it until it's real crisp. The ginger garlic paste is really crisp now. I'm just going to top it with some coriander leaves, some mint leaves, and I'm adding all these spice powders. This is garam masala powder, just a little bit. Some red chili powder. We've already added green chilies. Some salt. And I'm adding the boiled mashed potatoes. Finally, there's a complaint about me that I keep cooking a lot of non-vegetarian food. So I've just made up my mind that most of my cooking is going to be done in vegetarian from now onwards. And we non-vegetarians always have options to be added and not to be added and things like that. But vegetarians can add grated paneer or soya chunks to this as well. And make the vegetarian version of this cutlet, and non-vegetarians can add fish, prawn, you all can add mutton, chicken, beef or whatever needed to the same procedure mash. Just pressure cook it and make sure it doesn't have any moisture or water content in it, and just blitz it in the food processor to get real nice threads, and just add it to this, and that's it. The cutlet mix is done. And just toss it around well, making sure the onions and the masala is like really mixed with the potato mash. All you have to do now is just taste it, season it properly, and add a little bit of lime juice, and the mixture is ready actually. So I'm just going to do a bit of tasting here. Well, it does need a bit of salt, just a tiny bit actually, not more. And I'm adding lime juice as well, very little. Just mix it up well. Make sure the cutlet mix is really dry and it doesn't have any moisture in it much, so that it's easy for you to shape it into whatever shape you want to. The cutlet mix is done now. We just have to cool this completely, and I'll show you the different ways of molding it, as well as different variations of crust that can be used. I'll first show you all a cutlet, with the cutlet base. what you all can do with cornflakes. So what I do is, the mixture is already cooled down. So I'm just taking a very tiny bit, a small lemon size of this cutlet mix, and I'm just rolling it into a ball actually. You could do any shape, but because when the cornflakes is crusted over this and when you deep fry it, it looks really crisp and nice when it's in a ball shape. So I'm doing it in a ball shape. Those who want it as a patty or maybe any other shape like a log or a finger, it's up to you and your wish. You could do anything. So I've just rolled this here like this, and I'm going to dip it in beaten egg. I've just beaten eggs with pepper and salt. So you just have to dip it into this and coat it over cornflakes. And vegetarians who don't use egg actually can substitute this egg with just 2 tablespoons of maida flour, that is, and 1 tablespoon of corn flour. Just mix it to get a gooey paste, and you could use that instead of beaten eggs. So I'm just taking some cornflakes here and I'm just crushing it just a little bit, not too much, to coat over, and it gets stuck to the ball as well. Just drop it into the beaten egg and make sure the egg mixture is like coated over on all the sides. Just remove it and drop it over the cornflakes here, and make sure the cornflakes is there all over, and you just have to keep rolling and just coating it over. That's it. And just take a little bit of cornflakes on your left palm, place this over and just put more, and just keep going around like that, like how you catch a laddu, and just make sure the cornflakes has been coated around really well. You just have to keep doing the same to as many balls you want, and you just have to keep it in the fridge. You could do this a day ahead or 2 days ahead. Just keep it in the fridge and deep fry, and it's really nice. Kids to elders to everyone would love this. This version is actually the crust is coated with our normal papadums. I'm just making logs out of this. Logs in the sense not finger size, a bit larger than finger size. Just rolling it actually to really smooth and short, and all you have to do is just dip it into egg or the flour batter that I told you all previously, and coat it over the normal papadums that we have at home, or papad, even the pepper ones, the North Indian papads that we use, anything would do. And it gives a real good texture and a nice appeal to the dish as well. Just roll it into logs like this, and here's the batter that I was talking about for the vegetarian version. It's just flour and corn flour mixed with water and a bit of salt to get a real gooey texture, just like egg. So I'm just dropping this over the flour. Just make sure you coat it over well, and just remove it. And here I have some South Indian papadam. This is actually the South Indian version papadam. I've just crushed it, and all you have to do is just remove this. It's really delicate, so be careful when you handle, and just make sure you have the papadam all over. Just keep rolling it. The papadam roll is ready. And the next that I'm going to show you all is bird's nest. It's called so because it looks like a bird's nest. All you have to do is take cutlet mix into a big lemon sized ball actually. Just keep rolling it so that it gets to a nice fine ball, and then what you have to do is just place it in your left palm and just insert your thumb inside so that you get a nice deep hole like such, and then make sure the edges get widened a bit so that you get a shallow nest like shape here. That's it. And just so it's got the nest shape now, and all you have to do is just drop it into egg or the batter. So just coat the bird's nest with the vermicelli, and be very careful as it's really delicate and it tends to break a lot. So just be careful. Oh, now here we have the vermicelli coated over the bird's nest, and just keep this aside and you could deep fry it. And it looks really like a bird's nest once it's deep fried with the vermicelli. And you could fill the nest with boiled green peas or sweet corn, or if you want to be more creative and make things more interesting, you could actually roll small grated paneer into eggs, and you could place that in, which looks exactly like eggs. So we are done with the bird's nest now. First is with panko breadcrumbs. Actually, I'm using Italian flavored panko breadcrumbs. Panko breadcrumbs are really not easy to get in India. It's an imported product, and I source mine from Chennai, from Ananana department store over there. It's a gourmet store in Chennai. I source mine from there, and people living abroad, it's really easy for you all to get this. It's quite expensive as well over here in India, but it gives a real good flavor and taste to the cutlets. It's something like you're having your cutlets with garlic bread. It gives that sort of a flavor and dish to it. It's just the regular normal thing. You just roll it, dip it into egg or flour base, then just coat it over the panko breadcrumbs. Now these breadcrumbs are really very coarse, and they have oregano and other dried herbs in them. So just put it there and make sure you roll it, making sure the panko breadcrumbs are coated well in this. But here I'm just using a heart-shaped cutlet mold. You get these everywhere in most of these stores all around India, and it's up to you actually. Just make sure whatever base, the crust base you're using, just put it on the base like this, and just keep this ball on top and press it with your palms so that you get a flat top that doesn't have your finger marks like this, and coat it more with more panko breadcrumbs or whatever crust you're using. Turn it over and it falls, and you have a heart-shaped panko bread crusted cutlets here. The last but not the least is the normal regular version of cutlets that we all do at home with breadcrumbs that we buy from stores or we make at home and things like that. So just make it into a big lemon-sized ball and dip it into the beaten egg or the flour mix, batter mix that we've made, and roll it over breadcrumbs. I still remember as a kid seeing my grandmother do this when we used to go for holidays to Palgad, and back then they didn't have molds or anything, and my grandma was an expert. She used to do it in hands. I don't know how she managed to get the exact round shape with the same thickness, and my aunts used to help her out by doing the round mold shape with the Horlicks bottle lid actually. So that was something like a real trick for me, like seeing cutlets coming out of the Horlicks bottle lids. So I really thought you just need a Horlicks bottle lid to make cutlets, and I didn't know the procedure that it took. I felt it was like magic. So all I thought was, you have the Horlicks bottle lid with you at home and you ask for cutlets, the cutlets come. So I was a real crazy, silly little kid, I tell you. And here's the cutlet, the normal breadcrumbs one, and all we have to do is shallow fry all these, and a few have to be deep fried. The deep fried version has to be done to the bird's nest, the puppet one, and the cornflakes one. The breadcrumbs and the panko breadcrumbs actually can be shallow fried. So we'll just do the deep frying and shallow frying now.